Here we go, cooking fam. This is our perfect vanilla buttercream icing for any tropical weather. Welcome once more to the Jamaican cooking journey. If you're new right on over here, there's always a special welcome waiting for you. And if you're an oldie but goodie, manners and respect. Now, in the prior video, or in our last video, I showed you how you can use your very own granulated sugar to make your confectioner's icing or powdered sugar. Okay, so today I have here, this was the one that I made and I labeled it. And I do have here some that I bought. It says powdered sugar on the jug. And this is what it looks like right there. And this is what mine looks like, the one that I made. Okay, so in this very video, I did tell you to stick around because I'm going to show you how to make a buttercream frosting that you can use. I implemented this. This is my recipe because I'm in the tropics and I do some baking and delivering, and whenever I'm using a buttercream frosting, I need a buttercream frosting that can stand up to the heat and doesn't run. So I'm going to share with you today that recipe. For this buttercream, you're going to need some butter, of course, real butter, some shortening, a few drops of milk, salt, a little vanilla essence, and of course the icing or powdered sugar. Now, you're going to need a mixer, whether it be a stand mixer or a handheld. This cannot be done by hand. So if you don't have one of these stand mixer, your handheld mixer is as good. So we're going to start the process. You're going to use this attachment, this beater, the paddle attachment. So I have here some butter, and I'm going to put my butter in there. And you want your butter to be softened, not runny. You don't want the butter to break. The very first thing we're going to do, we're going to start to mix in this butter until we're going to cream it on its own until it's pale. It comes pale. So our butter has become paler. It's not as bright, and for you to acquire this, you have to beat on high speed. Okay, it's softened and it's becoming paler. Now you're gonna add your pieces of shortening, not all at once, and you're gonna continue to beat on the high speed. So this is a part of our shortening and butter, and we're gonna add this in 3 batches. Okay, so I'm gonna add the rest of my shortening, and I'm gonna continue to beat. What the shortening does, it solidifies the butter. It comes together with the butter to make the butter of itself more firmer. Now all of our butter and shortening has been incorporated. We're going to continue, and you see it's holding on to the spatula. If it was the butter only, it would have been dropping off. So I'm going to continue to beat at a medium speed until it gets a little lighter. Next clip. Now it has become even lighter and it still holds. Whilst doing this, you want to make sure that your temperature is relatively cool. You don't do this in too much of a hot temperature. Okay? Right, so that simply means if you're in the tropics like me and you have your AC at home, you need to turn it on. Or if the weather is cool, so much the better. Now it is time for us to be adding our confectioners, or icing, or with powdered sugar. I'm using the stand mixer, and I'm gonna use this sort of it's a guard. Remember, when you're doing these things, they're very messy. Frosting, icing, whatever, it's very messy. So it is powdered, so it's gonna flare. So I'm gonna use this to to guard my bowl. What I'm going to be doing, I have 3 cups of icing sugar in here, and I'm going to be feeding it a little at a time through this here. So if you have your stand mixer, you just put a little at a time, and you just, you know, we're not going to do it all at once. So that's how we're going to do it. With this on, we're going to, oh, we should put down this first, and then we put this on, and then we're going to go continue. So you start, once you start putting in your confectionered sugar, confectioners or icing sugar, you start mixing at a low speed. You want to stop at each time it is mixed in, and you want to scrape around your bowl, right? If you're using your stand mixer, your handheld, you do the same thing. Stop and scrape around your bowl as you go along, because this, as soon as you start to put in the icing sugar, you lower your speed, because we're gonna go back up to high, and I'll tell you when. We're gonna add a little, and I'm gonna continue adding. I'll do this in about 3 or 4, and I'll show you what I'll do at the very last. So I'm gonna add this, beat it, and then when I'm adding this, I'll show you what I'm gonna do. I have now incorporated the last of my icing sugar. You see it's still holding. We are not through as yet. We've got a lot more work to do. So at this point, we're gonna put a little salt. We're gonna use about a half of a teaspoon, not about a quarter of a teaspoon of salt. I'm making vanilla buttercream icing. Okay, I'm gonna put a little salt. I'm gonna put a little vanilla, if you have the vanilla powder in the powdered form, or if you have white vanilla. I'm gonna put a little, about half of a teaspoon. I'm gonna add about a tablespoon or less of milk, and I'm gonna continue to whip on high speed until we are there. Here we go, cooking fam. This is our perfect vanilla buttercream icing for any tropical weather. Smooth. So there you have it, family, your buttercream, vanilla buttercream frosting for the hot weather. I hope you will enjoy this video. I hope you'll give it a thumbs up. Leave me your comments in the comment section below, and most of all, thanks for watching.